I wanted to do a little something different today, and I'm just hanging out in my game room. I'm trying to get my games organized, and I've been kind of going through this revolution trying to figure out how to get them organized. So this is my game room, and it's weird space because it's and it's also my office. So it's a round room, and it has slanted walls, and so I'm in the attic space here. And things have been really sort of chaotic and disorganized, and I'm trying to figure out exactly what I want to do in this space and to try to get all of my games cataloged and organized. And I've made the mistake where I've bought 2 copies of a game, and I've done that like 5 times, and I don't want to do that anymore. And I think by having things organized and being able to use an app like CLZ or any of those apps to kind of catalog everything, so that's going to be sort of my weekend project, is kind of going through and organizing my game room and cataloging all my games. So I'll just kind of show you around here what I'm dealing with right now. So again, this is a round room. It's got these slanted walls, and so I can't really put bookshelves that are out, because if I put bookshelves that are out of that space, then they're going to take up so much space to go up to the ceiling. So I really can't do that. So I ended up going to IKEA and buying a bunch of these smaller bookshelves, and I can never pronounce the names of any of these bookshelves or anything from IKEA. So I put all of these together, and they had sort of two section ones and single section ones. So for instance, here you can see I've got this one that I'm using right now, sort of just, this is like a little one stand. And then over here I've got these are 2 stands, and so I've kind of been combining these to try to make this circular space kind of make sense. And of course, as I've added new games, then I've been running out of space, and I don't want them to be a mess. It's really a mess right now. And also, I'm kind of in the mode, it's the beginning of 2024, and I'm thinking about the games that I want to play this year. And I almost want to create like a pile of the games that I want to play, but then that'll be a mess. So anyway, let me just show you what I'm dealing with here. It's just a very casual kind of hangout in my game room today on the weekend. So I've got my Switch section over here. The problem with these bookshelves, though, is that the ends of them don't have a way to stop things from falling off the side, so they just kind of collapse off the side. So I put some of my limited editions over here. Like I've got my Ys Origin limited edition and some SNK, and just some of my game stuff, some of my controllers here. But then as you can see, sort of the space behind, there's a lot of extra sort of space behind there. So what I'm gonna do today, as I sort of organize everything, or this weekend, is start here and kind of go through and upload and catalog everything to the CLZ app. That's the one that I think works the best. Maybe you guys have a better suggestion for cataloging games, but what I really like about that one so far, and the ones that I've tested, is that it lets you scan the barcode of each game, and then of course select the system, but then you can also search your systems as well, and so you can break it down and see what you've got: PS5, Switch, old games, etc. And then it'll also show you the relative value too, because if some of these, like, you're not opened, here's the thing, all of these games will be opened at some point when I play them all. Yeah, if you've got games that are like collector's editions and things like that, it'll also sort of break it down in that way. So yeah, I'm gonna go through this entire section here. What I'd love to do is do it alphabetically, but I don't know if that makes the most sense. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, alphabetically, or if games that I've played, games that I haven't played, and kind of break it down by those sections here. My Switch section is now upwards of like 300 games. Really has become my favorite system, I think, of all time. I absolutely love my Nintendo Switch. Of course, I love the Nintendo Entertainment System back in the day. That was really my first love. So I find an affinity towards some of these Nintendo systems, but the Switch is really probably my favorite system of all time. Just the versatility, being able to play in handheld, travel, pop it into the dock and play it on my large screen television, but also all of the role-playing games that are available on the Switch, just fantastic. Yeah, a couple of the games that I really want to play this year, I just kind of put together some of my Xenoblade collection here. I've got all of the Xenoblade collection. I haven't played any of them yet, and so I think in 2024 that's a collection that I really want to dive into, play the Xenoblade collection. I also want to play I got The Witcher 3 on the Switch. So I'm starting to think and process the games that I want to play for 2024. I just finished playing Ys Origin. Maybe I'll put up a review of that. Really had a lot of fun with that. And I've been playing Ys Books 1 and 2 on the TurboGrafx Mini. So part of my selection this year is going to be, I think, to go through and play a lot of the Ys games. My friend John over at the Happy Console Gamer is really the one who, I don't know, resurrected, brought Ys to the world. I mean, he's really the voice of it. He, of course, was telling me to play Ys Books 1 and 2, and that's a fantastic game. But I also have got sitting here, on my shelf. See, things are such a mess right now. I've got some of these controllers. I love these. I love the NES controllers. I brought an extra pack here just because, you know, they break, right? And then also because I'm crazy. But I love these. I love playing NES games with the new version of the Nintendo controllers that work with the Switch. They're fantastic. So yeah, I've got, you know, Lacrimosa of Dana, the Ys Lacrimosa of Dana, Ys 8, Ys 9, Monstrum Nox. So I think I'm gonna really dive into the Ys series this year. I've also got Persona I want to play. So a lot of these big RPGs, I think it's going to be a big year of long RPGs, and I'm okay with that. I also have never played Octopath Traveler, and so my son and I are going to play Octopath this year, and it'd be great if we could play Octopath 1 and 2 in 2024. So that's kind of the Switch section over here, and then kind of down here I've just got some extra cases and things like that. And yeah, I'm still wearing some pajama pants, so if you see that, laugh at me about that. And some extra like kind of Switch docks and things down in here. But again, it's kind of a mess right now. So I'm gonna go through and really try to catalog and organize all of the Switch games. So that's my Switch section, and up here I've got my Hylian Shield. I got some of my special editions back in here as well. Fire Emblem Engage. I've got Rain Code. The box is down there. My Metroid Dread, and the Trails collections. Now, I should point out over here I've got, so a lot of these are Switch collections as well. And I bought some of these, I've kind of already started playing, some I haven't. So these, by the way, all of these will be opened and all of these will be played. Some of these are really, you know, shorter games, so I kind of try to stagger them. Play a long RPG and then jump in and play a game like Cathedral or Death's Door, one of the Monster Boy games, Raji, which was a special edition that just came out from Premium Edition Games. They Bleed Pixels, I picked that up. And then I have, these are actually some of my first purchases of Super Nintendo games. I never had a Super Nintendo system. I had a Genesis, I had an NES, and then jumped to the PS1. And some of my friends had Super Nintendo, but I never did, so I would play it with them all the time. So I'm starting to collect for the Super Nintendo. I recently picked up the analog Super NT to be able to play some Super Nintendo games, and I'm going to be very selective about what I pick up, you know, Chrono Trigger, things like that. But some of these new releases from Strictly Limited released Super NES versions of like Wild Guns, Turrican, Super Turrican, and things like that. So I'm really excited to play some of those games as well. Yeah, I'm a little crazy. I went a little crazy in 2023. All right, this next section is really a mess, and I don't know what to do with it, so I'm kind of leaning on you guys to give me some help here. All right, so this whole section here is another two-part bookshelf with a one-part bookshelf attached that I just kind of sat next to it here. And up top, I've got my Dragon Warrior map. My son just got me this for Christmas. The Time Machine, the DeLorean from Back to the Future. The Ecto-1, he got me as well. And then I've got some amiibos up here and just some randomness right now. It's kind of a mess. Some of my Transformers, my original Game Boy and stuff, like my signed Billy Joel picture and all that. But down here is the games section that's kind of a mess. And so I'm trying to figure out what to do. I've got my 3DS games here. PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and as you can see on the floor here, I've got a mix of them. So even some PlayStation 1 down here, PlayStation 5, and trying to figure out how to organize this whole mess right now. I think the problem is that the 3DS games are so small, and of course they take up so much space if I'm going side to side. So what I'm thinking about doing today is just doing a floor to top 3DS section. What do you guys think about that? Something bothers me about floor to top. I don't know, I like the left-right look of it all, but what are you gonna do? And again, the space, the depth of the shelf, there's not enough space, or it's too big, and so then you're wasting all of that space behind too. So how do you guys feel about doubling up shelves, like putting things behind something so you can't see it? I don't like that. I want to be able to see it. And that's for me why I love collecting. I love being surrounded by my games. I love being able to look over and see a title that I played a few years ago and reminisce about it. I like glancing at maybe games I haven't played yet that are still in the shrink wrap that I'm excited to play. That's why I like being surrounded by books. To me, there's like an energy about them, you know? And I know some people are super minimal about it, like my wife. She doesn't like anything around her. So she's like, put all the stuff in your office. That's exactly what I do. So, you know, and I like to see books. I like to see titles, and it just, you know, so to hide things behind a shelf so you can't see it kind of bothers me. Anyway, so then down here I'm thinking about doing maybe my PS4 games floor to top, and then the same thing with PS5 games over here, kind of floor to top. I've also got some of my Game Boy Advance games down there. See my Minish Cap and stuff back there, and Advance Wars. So this is a mess. This section here is a total mess right now. And then down here, these open, and I've got some of my books down here, some Star Trek graphic novels, and like the official Nintendo Player's Guide, and some of my NES Omnibus books, and the Game Boy Bitmap Books art collection, Octopath and stuff. Over here I've got some of my tabletop games, some Dungeons and Dragons. This next section is pretty clean looking, but I'm still not terribly happy with the setup. And as you can see, I'm kind of in front of this window where this is also a problem for collecting games because I don't want the covers to fade. So I recently had some blinds, some blackout shades installed in here, and kind of protects. But you know, up top here I've got my PlayStation 3 games. So if it gets too bright during the day, then I just kind of close this up so you can't see in here. Yeah, so my PlayStation 3 games kind of sit up here at the top, and then down here I've got my Evercade collection, which I'm really looking forward to playing a lot more Evercade games in 2024. Some of these collections are just fantastic and a ton of fun. Obviously, some of them still in shrink wrap. So, and that's usually what I do. If I haven't played it yet, I don't open the game, and I don't take it out of the shrink wrap until I play it. But I've got my sort of Evercade shelf here, and just some Nintendo games that I picked up at a store, at a retro store that I want to do a video on it, so I've kind of kept them together so I remember which ones I bought that day. And then if I come over here, I've got my Wii collection and some PlayStation. So this is my Wii U section up here on the top. And I know people slam the Wii U. I actually really love the Wii U. And I have my Zelda Special Edition Wind Waker Wii U up here, and I play it. And I open it up. I was just playing a Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. And then I have a few of my Wii games here. I made the mistake a few years ago of selling all my Wii games, so I've only been slowly getting back some of the ones that I actually want. I know, really upsetting. My PlayStation 2. Here's my PlayStation 2 shelf with my GameCube shelf over here. And then Sega Genesis, a few of my Sega Genesis games that are out here on the shelf, like Spider-Man, Shining in the Darkness, Warsong, Landstalker, Shinobi. So many hours put into Shinobi and Super WrestleMania and Quackshot, one of my favorite games ever, Quackshot. I'm so sad that I lost the box. Really, really upset about that. And then over here is my smaller NES section. Just some of my loose carts here set up, and Dragon Warrior 2, and then some of my complete in-box versions that I've got in plastic as well, set up here. And so this is like my little NES collection with my Nintendo and my analog I never remember the names of the Analog systems because they're wacky and they can't use Nintendo in their names. So this is the Analog one that plays NES games, and I love the Analog systems. I just got the Analog Duo to be able to play TurboGrafx and PC Engine games, and I'm very excited about diving into that as well. So yeah, again, kind of a mess around here. I'm trying to figure out exactly what to do and how to organize all of this. There's one more shelf that might go the way of the dodo bird. This is a bookshelf that I have in here. So I've got like, this is kind of a fantasy bookshelf and science fiction. So the Witcher series, Dune, some Star Trek novels, Star Trek trilogy, VHS box set here. My Patrick Rothfuss, Name of the Wind, Crystal Shard, the Forgotten Realms series, Ken Follett, book, some H.G. Wells in there. So I've got like a sort of a science fiction bookshelf out in the other room that might try to incorporate some of these books. I might just blow out this whole shelf here and just put games. So I'm trying to figure out what to do there. I don't quite know. Anyway, yeah. So guys, let me know in the comments like what you would do in terms of organizing. How do you guys stack your games? Do you kind of keep hidden games behind so you can't see them? Do you have them all out? Do you have them vertically? Do you have them side to side? And what app do you use? Again, I've been using the CLZ app, which I find pretty useful. So anyway, thanks for hanging out with me while I try to clean up here in my game room on this weekend. It's kind of a mess in here. So I'm gonna get some dust rags out, get some organizing, and play some games also. Have a great weekend, everyone.